What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles, and today's video will be, is there a case for the Venture X business card? I haven't seen a lot of videos on this and I've never talked about it. So today I'll review the card. I'll talk about the giant sign-up bonuses that most of us are not likely to be able to hit. And I'll talk about a case for getting the card without the sign-up bonus. I also want to mention that this card is not exactly like the consumer version. And I'll talk about some of the differences, and you can determine yourself if this card could be for you. So if at any time you get any value or entertainment from this video, slap that like button. And if you want to keep up with the channel, consider subscribing. Let's get right into this. To start this off, we have to mention the sign-up bonus because there's some things to decipher about this one. Here is the current offer that is expiring fairly soon. For a limited time through March 11th, 2024, you can earn up to 300,000 Capital One miles. 150,000 miles after $20,000 spent in the first 3 months, and an additional 150,000 miles after you spend 100K in the first 6 months. Let's address the elephant in the room. I don't expect a ton of folks to be able to hit that kind of spend unless you're running a larger business that requires a lot of spend. If you do, that's awesome. But this video will be evaluating the card without that bonus. Me personally, I did not get a bonus on the consumer Venture X because I did a product change from a card that I never use. Do I feel like I still get great value from that personal card? Yes, absolutely. If the business version was around at the time, I would have considered getting that instead. I'll explain. I've always said that there are very few cards I would recommend getting without the bonus. One of them is the American Express Hilton Aspire card. I think that card is still great without a large bonus. And the Capital One Venture X, which I actually did get without a bonus. This business version falls into this category as well. Yes, I'm saying I would get this card without the sign-up bonus, but that doesn't mean you have to agree with me. Let's go over the card and I'll mention a few differences from the consumer version that you may not be aware of. The card shares the $395 annual fee with its consumer brother. Here is where the cards sort of begin to differ. Authorized users are free, but, and this is a big but, authorized users are not going to get the same benefits like they do on the consumer version. If you plan on getting authorized user cards for the kids so they can enter the lounge independently of you, then that's going to be a no-go. I want to be clear though that lounge access with this card still includes 2 guests. I'll go over the lounge access a little more later. To help mitigate that hefty annual fee though, the card comes with a $300 travel portal credit. The card also mirrors the consumer card with the 10,000 Capital One miles bonus annually after the first year, of course. I am a big fan of Capital One miles, and I think they have enough use through airline partners to make them worth racking up. The miles can also be used to erase travel purchases at 1 cent per point. Those are really the only 2 ways I recommend using them. You can purchase travel through the portal with miles, but it makes much more sense to me to purchase with cash and then erase the purchase. Because of course, purchasing the travel with cash will actually earn. So at the end of the day, you still have what many consider an effective annual fee of -$5. I'm not going to say that Capital One pays you to keep the card, but it's very easy to neutralize this entire annual fee. It also shares the same earning rates. 10 times hotel bookings and car rentals, and 5 times on flights through the Capital One portal. Most importantly, the card will earn 2 times on that almighty everything else category. And for me, that's where the majority of the spending will go. If you're not a portal person, I wouldn't stress too much about it. I'm not a portal person, but I will stand on the opinion that most folks can book once through the travel portal per year fairly easy enough. Like most premium travel cards, this one will give you that $100 TSA PreCheck / global entry credit every 4 years. Here's a pro tip, nieces and nephews. Global entry might be a pain in the butt to get, but it includes TSA PreCheck, and it's a lifesaver if you enter the US and still have another leg or another flight to go. If you know, you know. Let's revisit this lounge situation because these are the most noteworthy differences. The card comes with a priority pass, and this is a full priority pass, meaning it comes with the restaurants. So if you visit a priority pass restaurant, you can get $28 credit on your meal there. Registering a guest will likely get you $56 in most restaurants, so that is a perk that very few cards still have. The Chase Sapphire Reserve being another one. Make sure you read the details about those visits, but that perk should start to stack up after a while if you are traveling. The card also gives the holder premium plaza lounges and Capital One lounges with 2 guests. So it is a complete lounge card, and it provides plenty of lounge access. I want to at least touch on some of these less talked about benefits of the card. This is a World Elite MasterCard, so it is jam-packed with those features that you rarely think about. The card provides primary rental car insurance coverage. If you rent cars, you probably know that is a daily expense, and this should save you quite a bit of money in the long run. Let's talk about the travel delay insurance. If your card pays for even a portion of the ticket, and that travel is delayed 6 hours, you are eligible to be reimbursed $500 for your expenses. Here's a tip. Your spouse and dependent children are also covered at $500 each. If you read your cards carefully, a lot of cards with this insurance doesn't kick in until you're delayed much longer, like 12 hours. That's a pretty big difference. I also want to point out that cell phone protection is not a benefit listed on the Business Venture X, but this card does have that great purchase protection. So with all this, let's summarize the differences between this card and its consumer brother for our practical use. What is bad? Probably not going to get a bonus. Again, that's not a deal breaker for me, but there's also no cell phone protection. I don't use the Venture X for cell phone bills, so again, no big deal to me. Authorized user cards will not grant their own independent lounge access. What about some good things? Well, for those of you that can't get pre-approved for the personal card, this could be an option. This card has the much stronger priority pass if you want to eat at the restaurants. Finally, this is a business card, so it should not count against your Chase 524 status. For most of us, that's a pretty big deal, right? Now, for my thoughts. I would have preferred this card over the personal version. I think this is a keeper card that pays for itself and provides massive value. I like that it's a great card to get while gardening, and it's a great card for that everything else category. I would recommend this card even without the sign-up bonus for those comfortable applying to business credit cards. And this is actually a great time to mention, I do have a link below you can click on to learn more about this card, and if you would like to apply for it. Using that link absolutely supports my channel, and links such as these are what allows me to continue to provide you with consistent content. One last thing. I want to talk about the Capital One transfer partners. Capital One has some of the most valuable partners in Air Canada's Aeroplan, British Airways, Avianca, and Virgin. Almost anyone in the points and miles game can get lots of use out of those. They also have Wyndham, which I don't use, but they have a very loyal following, which seems to grow daily. In any case, these miles are worth at least 1 cent per point if you want to erase your travel purchases, and could be worth much, much more transferred out to partners. That 2 times earning could be more like 10 times or even 20 times if you are deep into the game. In any case, I will link a couple videos that I did about the Capital One miles and how I use them. That's it for me, guys. Remember to check out my link in the description. And if you have stayed all the way to the end, I thank you, and I appreciate every single one of you.